something that has come to my attention recently in a quite personal way is afflictions with ALS, otherwise known as Lou Gehrig's disease. And this is a debilitating disease that really takes it takes the life from a person who is still very much alive. It takes the ability to do everyday things. Move, walk, stand. Okay, eat eventually. From people who are mentally very capable and very full of life. Most everybody out there knows what Lou Gehrig's disease is in general terms. It's a debilitating disease that attacks the musculature of otherwise healthy people. And a very dear friend of mine, whom I just adore personally and is full of life, I found out recently was stricken with ALS, a larger-than-life person. I'm not going to reveal his name right now because we haven't gotten to that point in our discussion, but one of our nation's truest, largest warriors, and a Navy Special Warrior, a Navy SEAL. And this is where we get into busting stereotypes of who gets afflicted with these debilitating diseases. And right now I'd like to welcome from the Florida chapter of the ALS Association, Alyssa Gutierrez. Alyssa, thanks for coming on the show today.
Good morning. It's actually Alyssa, and
I knew
I'm happy
that.
to be here. Thank you for having me.
That's what we call an air check. See if our guest was paying attention.
It sounds very similar.
Absolutely. Now, I want to thank you for joining us today. And as you know, within this circle of friends that I've got, one of our own has been afflicted with this terrible disease. And let's start at the beginning. What is ALS? How does it afflict people?
ALS, amyotrophic lateral sclerosis, more commonly referred to as Lou Gehrig's disease, named after the famous Yankee player. It's a progressive neurodegenerative disease that attacks nerve cells and pathways in the brain and spinal cord. Basically, the cells die, you lose voluntary muscle control, and in later stages of the disease, patients are totally paralyzed. But as you mentioned, their minds remain sharp. At any given time, there are 30,000 Americans that are affected by ALS, and studies supported by the Department of Defense, the Department of Veterans Affairs, the National Institutes of Health, and Harvard University repeatedly have found that military veterans, regardless of branch or era of service, are approximately twice as likely to die from Lou Gehrig's disease. And we don't know why. There is, right now, no known cause for ALS. There's no treatment, and there's no cure. And I find it really amazing that Lou Gehrig walked into his doctor's office in 1939 and was diagnosed with ALS. Imagine all of the things in the last 74 years that we've been able to do. We put a man on the moon. We have come up with the most incredible medical breakthroughs and technology breakthroughs. But yet, when Lou Gehrig walked into his doctor's office in 1939 for his diagnosis, he was told the exact same thing that you would be told if you walked into your doctor's office today. They would tell you, we don't know why you got this disease. We have no cure for you. There's no treatment. And you're going to die within 2 to 5 years. Go home and get your orders, all of your things in order. We can't do anything for you. And I think that's really a shame that in all of these years, we still have not been able to find a cure for this disease. We as the ALS Association, we have legislative priorities. Right now, the Department of Defense is the largest single funder for ALS research. In 2012, they gave $6.4 million to the ALS research program. We're going for $10 million this year. We haven't gotten it yet. I know $6.4 million sounds like a lot, but it's not. At the current funding level, we're only able to support 4 to 5 research projects a year, yet 100 are submitted. And as a result, at the current funding level, more than 95% of submitted ALS research projects will not receive funding. So ALS is not an incurable disease, it's an underfunded disease. And we need to figure out why veterans are twice as likely to die from this disease. And currently we don't know.
Alyssa, along with my friend whom you know,
Yes.
and you'd have to agree, he's a literally larger than life person in every single way.
Absolutely.
Physically, intelligence that abounds, great sense of humor. I mean, always moving forward. I know this person has 2 speeds, and it's full speed and stop. And I know a person who lived behind me, her father, a retired Army veteran, was also afflicted with ALS, and a former Navy petty officer of mine that I worked with at U.S. Central Command, ALS, all within the last 2 years. And I didn't even think about this until my friend whom you know sat down with me and talked and said, hey, listen, and my neighbor also said, military people are much more likely to come down with ALS than folks in the civilian population. Talking about a very sad and debilitating affair, and that is the disease known as ALS, or Lou Gehrig's disease. And I'm joined on the Frank Wuco radio show hotline by Alyssa, not Larissa, Gutierrez of the ALS Association of Florida. Now, Alyssa, we know generally now, I mean, folks who have been listening know that the scope of this disease is... I mean, there's no other word for it other than devastating to the person afflicted and all around them. I tell you, if you know somebody who's afflicted with ALS and you hear that they've been diagnosed and maybe it's been a couple of months or so since you've seen them last, be prepared. This is a debilitating disease. It will take the wind out of your sails when you see how it destroys the human body. It's a terrible thing. Now, there are some things that we can do to help, Alyssa, and I know that there's some events that are coming up right on the horizon here in the Tampa Bay area that we can all do to kind of pitch in and do our part. Would you mind going down the list of some of the things that we've got coming up here?
Absolutely. The largest statewide fundraiser that we have to raise money for ALS here in Florida are our statewide walks to defeat ALS. Our Tampa Walk comes up on Saturday, March the 9th at USF, and anyone who wants to get involved, whether that means you're starting your own team, supporting a walker, or becoming a virtual walker, can go to www.walktodefeatals.org, and you can sign up. Just come on out and walk with everybody. There is absolutely no cost to sign up. We do ask that people help us by fundraising. Send emails to your family and friends, and hey, will $5 to $10 support me, support my efforts. And our statewide walks are what support the programs and services we offer ALS patients and their families here in Florida. As you have mentioned, this is a debilitating disease, and families need our help. Until there's a cure, there has to be care. This is a financially devastating disease. End stage, they say it can cost upwards of $250,000 to take care of an ALS patient. So we have grants, we have medical loaner closets to help people who can't afford or are underinsured or not insured. And we offer support groups so that families can come in, talk to other families, kind of have that emotional, mental support that a disease like this really robs people of their peace of mind, and it's just all around devastating. So if you can support the walk, we appreciate that. We have another walk on Friday, March 15th in Orlando. And as well, we do a bicycling event, the Ride to Defeat ALS, and that comes up in November.